Okay, final stretch. This is the last video. Let's do something to sort of demonstrate what this capability might be good for. Now, unfortunately, I'm at home. I don't have like a big network or anything we can really play with, so I'm just going to make do and build something sort of dumb. I'll scrape links off of a web page and show how you can start to deal with lots of data very easily. But really where this shines is when you're in your organization and you can enumerate Active Directory, map out people, their organizations, and their relationship between that and the computers they're using or where they're at geographically. Or I can go through my file server, enumerate files that haven't been used for more than 4 years, and then turn around and map out who the owners are and where they are in Active Directory, things like that. But again, I'm not connected to any of that here, so we'll just make do with what we've got. So let's start by creating another script. We're going to call it Get Media. List. Okay. So, I mean, this is less than 40 lines, and really a lot of that's could be compressed. I pull in a couple of libraries. This section of the script up here steps through our arguments and then pulls out the value and assigns it the value of the object that we pass to it, and it calls that look for. What this will do is this will construct a query to YouTube with the search parameters that you gave it. I have some regex, where the heck did I put that? No, right here, that's sort of set to pull the URL and the title of whatever is on the page, and then it will turn around, manipulates that and sort of pushes it into dictionaries, and then basically it will add an entity, Nix Media, the entity we made in the last video, and assign the titles and the URL to the media file, and then it will return that output. So nice easy script. Being said, let's look at this real fast. So say and I think we've got a bunch of transforms, so let's clean this up. We want to remove check arguments and the development, so we'll just turn those off, and we'll make a new transform called Get Media List. I'm going to attach it to phrase. Outstanding. Worked the first time. Great. So, and I've got this set up because we're on the community edition. I think it will only return 12 results. If you pay for it, it can handle everything I've thrown at it. And then if we sort of examine sort of one of our media objects, I can see that this is an AC/DC mix, was the title, and then here is the URL. And then it pulled like a bunch of them sort of simultaneously, which is great. Now, if we want, we could, I don't know, write another transform and say, hey, I want to grab these, and there's no transform attached to it, but open this up in my browser, or I don't know, produce a CSV file, or whatever you'd like to do. So likewise, I'll tell you what, get rid of those. Add a couple more groups here. Can select all of these, tell it to get media list. And what happened with Aerosmith is it seemed to crash. My oh, there it goes. My regex isn't perfect, that's why you see it pulling in, so there's some extra material here, and that's probably why it crashed at one time, but it's about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm not going to stop and play with regex right now. Excellent, and so that's something a little bit more useful. So let's select all of this, and well, you know what? Let's just select the media files and we'll delete those. Great. So I went out to like a music billboard site. It sort of listed the most popular rock bands. With using regex, you can parse that stuff out, send it to a CSV. And this is where Maltego shines. Not for web and media files, mind you, but for this sort of thing. So we can turn around and say, I want to import this graph called music. I'm going to map this to a phrase. And stick it in the current graph. And what it did is it put these things in a collection, which we're going to disable for now. If you look, we've got sort of effortlessly, you know, a whole not sure what happened there. So we've got a whole bunch of entities here, which are, in this case, sort of music groups. Now I can just sort of select all of those, tell it to get the media list. What it's doing is it's running out to YouTube, and it's just sort of collected all of that information. I've got, again, it's what the script was told to do. I've got the title and the URLs to all of that content, and then you can sort of do what you want. Now, I'm not going to advance this anymore. I don't need anything like this, but the point is I could have just as easily taken a list of my customers or users or systems in my environment, software, and handle that data very easily and programmatically, as well as I can start to establish sort of like visual relationships with this information. This is great for presenting to leadership in your organization, things like that, to sort of tell a story, demonstrate kind of some of the more esoteric or complex situations that you may have to sort of convey. Anyway, that's Maltego, and that's how to make a custom transformation for your organization. Thanks.